Hello. So glad you can join us. I'm Richard Enlew, Honorary Brigade Division President, hailing from the west coast of Canada in Burnaby, BC. We are delighted to have a special presentation with a veteran of the Second World War and an officer of the Order of St. John, retired Captain June Frances Gibson. She served in BC and Alberta, and we're here to tell her story of saving lives while serving the community. And please stay tuned for a special message after. Thank you.
June Gibson. Born in Manville, Alberta, 1921. You know, St. John Ambulance is known all over the world, and I decided I'd go and join and carry on from there on. Well, I read the newspapers, and I just happened to be interested in St. John Ambulance. Decided I'd go and visit them, and I joined the nursing division, which I'm glad I did because it's a wonderful organization, you know. Teaching cadets, young people, first aid, and adults as well, you know, then businesses, they have done very well at this, and I feel that that's a place for me to go to join, and that carried me right on to going to the medical corps in the Army, and I've also worked with the cadets and with first aid. I taught them first aid training. How it's important that everybody should take first aid, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody should, because it sure helped me out. I saved quite a few lives. Well, I'll try. One was I think it first started off when I lived in Saskatchewan, Regina, and my sister, we decided to go swimming near Wascana Lake near the apartment buildings, and she decided to take off, and she went in the water, and she must have jumped in, and she yelled for help. Well, yeah. I ran after and got her out of there and saved her life. Over 50 lives. I know when I was in Victoria, I was in charge of in a big apartment, and I got one night at 10 o'clock at night, somebody came down the iron steps in the apartment I lived. It's a 4-story apartment. He says, I was caretaker there at that time in Victoria in the 1940s. And he says, quick, my girlfriend's taken poison, drank some poison. I said, oh, for God's sakes. I said, okay, go upstairs and hold her. And so I ran to my kitchen to open the fridge, no eggs. So I went to my neighbor. I want an egg. So she gave it to me, and I ran up the stairs. I said, where is the girl, her girlfriend? Well, bring her out in the kitchen. I want you to hold her. Told her tight, and I got a hold of her. And I took the egg, and I beat it up real good in the glass. I said, I want you to take it. I don't want it. She said, I want to die. I said, you can take it and die afterwards. Don't waste my time. Now get at it. Open your mouth. And I got her down her, and and then her boyfriend says, well, what do you want me to do? I said, you phone for the police or the ambulance. I said, get them here right now. There's no waste of time. She hasn't got time because she took half a bottle, for God's sake, nearly. So we got her to the hospital, and I haven't seen her for 3 weeks. And then one day I was out to the bays in Victoria, right in the corner there. This happened in Victoria, by the way. And I saw, as I was going towards my home, I saw a cab stop at my apartment. And I saw a girl get out of there. And I said, oh, can't be her. This is a long time ago. And it was her. And I tried to talk to her, but she wouldn't talk because she felt bad about it, you know, so forth. And but she said, whatever you gave me saved my life. And the doctor said, what did she give you? She said, I don't know, but she saved your life. You were a lucky girl. But I've saved a lot of lives, but it's too much to talk about it now. But it makes me feel good that I took the course, and I always recommend St. John Ambulance to the schools. I taught in the schools as well, and the military, and wherever. I'm retired now, but I was, and then we have camps every year for the cadets too, you know. So my job is in the medical corps. It's first aid and nursing, same thing. Yeah, makes you feel good when you can do something. Well, if people are working at the grounds, or you know, people do get hurt in exhibition and games and stuff like that, and that's what happens. You don't know what's going to happen.
Mm.
And you see, I worked from 10 o'clock in the morning to 11 at night. And I was out there every night, and I showed them how to what to do in the first aid room anyhow, so they'll be able to do the job.
Mm.
No, we had they never had a cadet corps at all until I formed it. But I have to say around 30,000 cadets in the last few years. And a lot of them have come to me and said that they told me what they have done after taking the first aid training from me. And they saved their parents, some people's lives too. And they were so happy that somebody's around. And I was the one that got the cadet corps started in the St. John ambulance, and I worked on them. And I picked about 5 people to go for competition with and we had Mounties and the police. Everybody participated that day, and I worked on those kids very well and hard, and picked the best. And guess what? We won.
Wow.
And St. John Ambulance never had that before. So I carried on with St. John Ambulance to retirement days. And of course, that also gave me a chance to teach the military too. I had the military to teach first aid and cadets. And I formed the Air Cadets forms in Abbotsford. When I moved to Abbotsford, I got started first aid down there too. So it's a wonderful organization. I could tell you a lot more, but I'm a little tired. I didn't expect this, but I had a lot more I could tell you, you know. Oh, made me feel good, I guess. I have give me those papers back there. I can show you the papers. Is that one of them?
For sure.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can. What is that?
It saves me talking because I'm kind of weak right now.
Oh, the Order of St. John. Oh, wow. Look at that. Okay, look at that.
Let me know when you're finished. I'll get you some more.
Okay.
Another
Kristen
one.
can send me a copy of that.
Got that?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, next one. Now here's me with being awarded by the St. John's. I got the sword on top of me practically. This is in the military, receiving the St. John Medal. Oh yeah, that's where it all happened. Yeah, in Alberta, I've taught a lot of first aid. Business people that have to have first aid. I've taught I have to say over 30,000 cadets in the last 10 years at Camp Vernon when I went there. Yeah. Oh yeah, in Edmonton. Number 20 division?
Yes.
You're way back. I've been with St. John Ambulance for many years. That's all I can say. But many years. And but now things are, the St. John Ambulance don't have the cadet. In fact, we got I formed the cadet corps in St. John Ambulance, by the way.
Yeah.
They never had kids interested in first aid till I came along.
Oh.
And the kids did very well. And I took 6 kids, 6 boys, or 6. You have to have about 4, 2 boys, 2 girls, and 1 more for the first aid team. And I taught them. I said, look, They've never had a cadet corps with cadets in St. John Ambulance, and we're going to win because I want the people, want them to be able to bring more cadets to teach them first aid, which they never did before. And I did that. I got them into, and we had to be with the, with these RCMP. They were in the competition as well. Many people came into competition. There's a lot of people. And then after we finished our job and the examination and test and that, we had a big dinner that night. And when they call, I said, gee, they're calling everybody's names. I said, got to be us winning it. And we won it. We beat it for all of Alberta, my kids. Yeah, the Edmonton, yeah. St. John Ambulance, we have one here in Edmonton, but I think the women had their own division too, but nursing division, but I think it's gone. And then not only that, we had to attend the exhibition, do all the first aid there. I taught the cadets how to keep things clean and sanitary, go to wash your hands before and after, because they were never told that by anybody else. And I'll tell you a funny thing. The exhibition closes down about 11 o'clock at night. So about 10 to 11, a young fellow, I was just ready to go home, he comes in rushing into the first aid room there where I was. He says, can you help me? I said, what's wrong? And I said, we're closing up now. He says, I tore my pants. I said, what? He says, I tore my pants. I said, can you help me do something about it? I said, okay, I got the needle and thread and I sewed them up. It went in the journal paper. I said, we do everything here. We'll help you.
So
I could tell you more stories, but it just got me on hand. It's hard for me to figure things out. But I done a lot of first aid. Yeah, I saved a few lives too, by the way. Oh, I was in the nursing department, and also an instructor and I got, in fact, I got a young children's to join to take first aid, and they're doing very well. Of course, I've been away for a long time with military, and there was a big thing that ever happened for me to get the kids in the St. John ambulance. But this is quite a while ago, and I don't know if they're still operating or not, because it's quite a while ago. Young kids, yeah. They had their uniforms. I'm the first one to have cadet corps to form it. Emergency first aid. And the kids really enjoyed it. And I put them in a team afterwards. It's the first time they ever had kids in the St. John Ambulance here in Edmonton. And I taught them I taught them the first aid so we can put them on a first aid team. And we won the cup. We beat everybody, even the mounted police.
Wow.
Kids, the St. John Ambulance was so pleased with the cadets. And today, since I've been away now and retired, they don't have it anymore. The women are, the nursing division's gone. I don't know what's happened. It's too bad, It was a good organization. I enjoyed being with St. John Ambulance, and to know that I was there to help them. That's a true story.
Wow. Well, I think you told me before that you taught between 20 and 30,000 people. That makes more sense to me. Yes.
It's cadets that I taught at Vernon Camp. I was with the military as well as St. John Ambulance. So I taught some of the Army people and the Reserve Army, and taught a lot of the cadets will love the first aid. It's because when I made injuries or broken bones, I made it look real, and they passed on it. They loved it. They learn a lot how to deal with life, and there's so much to learn in life. And they learn first aid. They're able to save a life. One person that said he did first aid and somebody and saved his life. I said, you make me happy doing that. It's worth teaching the kids. And now today, I don't, since I came back from BC, I was away for quite a while, by the way. And St. Thomas, you don't see the women there anymore. It's a shame. I wish they'd get it back again. And the cadets loved first aid, especially when I put real cases on. And they passed their first aid, and I got nice letters from them thanking me for teaching them first aid. And I wish we could get back to those days again, but I don't see it here anymore. It's just unfortunate. But besides, I've been nursing for quite a while at the Royal Alec Hospital, and then when the exhibition came, I was in charge of the nursing department in the exhibition grounds. We used to get a lot of people hurt, and one woman's just about had a baby. I said, well, we better get you out of here. So, but people love first aid. If you make it look real, and I made it real, and the kids passed.
Wow.
Made me happy too. Yeah. And they said, even all the classes they've taken in the military, it was excellent. It goes along with the first aid training, and the kids really enjoyed it. I'm sorry that they don't have the kids anymore or any more meetings. It's too bad. I would love you to do that, because the lives they saved might be yours. Oh, it was my car accident. I was on my way to Vancouver. I just got back from BC or somewhere. I was on holidays, and we were on our way to Vancouver, and we were passing around. I can't remember the name of the town near in the mountains there, going around the mountains. And I said to everybody, I had a premonition something was going to happen, and I sat in the back seat so I can see everything and help them. If I see anything, I would tell them where to go, watch where we're driving and all that. 2 18-wheelers came by, and I heard them on our radio. Let's have fun with them. Well, you don't have fun with anybody in a highway. And guess what? We were pushing a trailer, 34-foot trailer, beautiful foot trailer, and we're on our Vancouver, and they hit our car, the trailer. We went I'm sure it's about 60 feet down below where the river is. And I said to everybody, I says, get out of the car. It's going to be on fire. No, it says, I mean it. And I was mad. Get out of this car now. And they got out. I said, you sit over there away from this car, and I'll be up there to help you where we're going to go. We're going to climb up way up on the top onto the highway. Oh, I can't climb, one said. I was, oh, yes, you can. Now get going. And I was mad. I struck it like I was just taking a stick and making an order out of it, And I got up there, and I said, the last person was me by the car. I saw the smoke and the fire coming out as well. As everybody, just sit where you are. I'm coming to help you now. It was quite a long and steep hill, like going up to the highway, And a lot of cars were stopped. And so here comes a Mountie, and he grabs my hand. I said, what's happened? I said, well, for goodness sakes, we had a car accident. I want to get these people in the car, get them to Kelowna or Kamloops. I guess it's Kamloops. And I said, I want them examined. I want papers on them written. And so when we get back to Edmonton, they're going to see their doctor so they can see whether they've been injured or not. I made them climb up that hill, and my sister-in-law was the last one in the car to get out. I said, get out of this car. It's already smoky. When I lost my jewelry, I said, to hell with your jewelry. Get out of this car. I finally got her out, and she started looking for the jewelry. So I said, get out of this car now. I was getting mad because I'm putting my life on there too. So I finally got her out, and made her sit down. You sit up where the rest of the people are, and I'll give orders when I get up there. One says, I can't make it. I said, if I can make it at my age, you can too. Like, get up that hill, and there's people waiting for you. Kamloops, I guess, somewhere around there anyhow. And I got them all examined, and everybody went home. And you got to do everything, and you got to be nice and polite and make them feel at home. And I said, you're going to go home and they're going to feel a lot better. And I said, just take good care of yourself. Anything gets bad, you see your mom and go to a doctor, whatever the injury you have. And the kids really enjoyed that first. They passed their exam. Very good. I taught over 30,000 cadets across Canada in the 6 years I was with the cadets and with the Army cadets. And a lot of them did first aid. One of them come up to me and thanked me. She says, I had to do first aid on somebody. Said, well, what did you do? Tell me all about it. So she told me, says, did I do a good job? I said, you did an excellent job. You make a good nurse. Kids loved it because I made it look real. But I was very strict with them. I says, no talking in my class. Yeah. I could tell you stories galore.
I'm
But
sure.
I have saved about 8 lives altogether.
Yeah,
But you know what? I have to recommend St. John Ambulance that they don't have the exhibition. I guess they have it this year. I can't remember, but it's not what it used to be, you know? It's terrible. But I had I've done a lot of cases of first aid. Yes, poison. One was a poison case. Woman took, I think I told you that one, didn't I?
About the Lysol?
Yeah, she took Lysol, yeah. And I told the guy, you be sure to get her to the hospital. It's a matter of time. Well, I haven't seen her for a long time. And all of a sudden, I was coming from the bay, walking home. I see somebody get out of the car in front of my apartment. I said, that looks like her. So I went down there. She had already gone upstairs. So the next day she came out. I said, oh, you're home. How are you feeling? She said, I'm feeling fine. She said, I want to thank you. You saved my life. I said, well, you're damn lucky that I knew how. But why did you take that poison? Well, it was his boyfriend. They had a fight. That's what it is. I said, is it worth it? She said, no, well, smarten up. And I said, well, you know, that's the way it is. But I'm glad I've saved about 8 lives. I'm not trying to be smart or anything, but that's actually happened. And I got people to take more first aid from St. John Ambulance, and I put my nursing division. I put them on the first aid competition. Never had a competition in the St. John Ambulance that I know of. And then after I trained them all, and I made real wounds. Even got bones from a pot with bones in the soup. Made real bones, you know, blood on it and everything. And I said, oh, that's never mind. That's what you're going to see. So I'm talking fast to get it done here. So well, anyhow, here's ketchup.
And for the bones?
I made a lot of stuff. You know, I made a lot of stuff. That's what. See, people, if it looks real, they'll pass the exam, and that happens. I think maybe I might be the only one. I taught the cadets and the Army cadets. So I was with the military at the time. I was in running camp, and I taught first aid at the camp. I taught over 30,000 cadets in the 6 years I was there. And I had the Eskimo children for the first time. They never seen first aid before, and they really loved it. It's a pleasure to kids are wonderful. I can remember going downtown, and a mother was walking with this little boy, and she says, there's that lady, she taught me my first aid. After 2 or 3 years, you remembered me. And I said, you remember me? I said, no, I don't. You're growing up. Kids love first aid if you make it interesting. A lot of people don't want to take it. I said, well, the life you save might be yours, buddy. And I think St. John Ambulance is a wonderful thing to belong to. But I was with the nursing division, and I taught them how to drill the Army style as well. So they learned a lot from me too. But they're wonderful people to work with. I guess they're still teaching. I haven't heard any more since I come back to Edmonton. But sometimes I'll sit down and think about what I've done, you know, and the lives I've saved about 8 lives. But I don't tell everybody that. They might think I'm too smart or something. But you know, that's the truth. Even the boys like taking first aid. And I taught St. John Ambulance cadets. Never had ever had that done before. As well, I'm going to teach them. That's over here in Edmonton here. And I took them to Calgary after we finished our finished training. We had to have competition with the Mounties and all kinds of people. St. John Ambulance people I put in so we could win. I said, oh my God, I hope they can win. So we go to Calgary. We had our supper. And I said, you girls are going to bed early tonight because tomorrow morning we're going to win this competition. Oh no. I said, you're getting up at 6 in the morning and we're going to have breakfast and we're going to go to the building and our course starts, your examination will start then. Well, we went through the whole day. I watched the whole thing. And I thought to myself, well, those kids are doing pretty good. Maybe we will win. So it was over with. So we had to go for the big dinner that night. So we see who won and who got the cup and everything. Guess what? My team, oh yeah, that night the Mounties came to my door. The girls were like, to come in and have a cup of coffee. I said, no, they're going to bed at 7. They're going to win that trophy for us, which has never been done. And we won it for the first time for St. John Ambulance. They're a great outfit. I wish we could get more people interested in first aid. Somehow or other, it's just, I don't see anything at all anymore. But I teach first aid in the Army as well. I've taught over around 30,000 in the 10 years I was with them. And the kids loved it. Otherwise, if you don't make it interesting and blood and all this stuff, they don't take much interest. But I made it look real. Yeah, they loved it. The kids love first aid if you make it interesting. Some don't want to do it. And I could tell you stories galore, honest to goodness. But you know what? When they finished looking after the patient, I said, what did you do? They told me, I said, you know what? I'm proud of you. You did a great job. And that person's alive today. So that's what kids want to hear. I said, well, you've got to work for it. I said, I take no nonsense. You're going to study and you better know your stuff before the exam. That's all I can say. And they did well. So I'm retired from the military and St. John Ambulance as well. But St. John Ambulance, I don't think they're teaching anymore that I know of. I wish they'd get back in there again. It was an interesting course, you know. I enjoyed it. So there you go. I have saved altogether about 8 lives besides St. John Ambulance too. So makes you feel good when you can do something and, you know, it really is. I could tell you a lot more, but I'd be here till next year. I'd be 101 years old.
Wow.
I'm going for 102 right now, you see.
Good.
Thank you for joining us for this special interview of Captain June Gibson, Officer of the Order of St. John. I also want to thank Adam Dunnan, grandson of Captain Gibson, for conducting and coordinating the interview with his grandmother on our behalf, so we could do this virtual storytelling and share her incredible experience with our St. John Ambulance family. I also thank for the on-site support and filming by her grandson, Christian Payne and Roselle Payne, and the photo contributions from various family members. On a personal note, it is truly an honor and privilege to have met you, ma'am, so many years ago during Adam's wedding, and knowing we are now fellow St. John Ambulance members today. In closing, we have a special message from Dr. André Levesque, Chancellor of the Priory of Canada for the Order of St. John and St. John Ambulance. Thank you again for joining us. One St. John.
Hello, Captain Gibson. My name is André Levesque, Chancellor of the Priory of Canada, and I bring greetings on behalf of all of our St. John members across Canada to wish you a very happy 101st birthday. Thank you for your dedicated service to Canada during the Second World War and to St. John Ambulance in Alberta. You are an inspiration to our members. Stay well, together in service.